Hi, I'm Naima Latif with your Tuesday 10-minute tip at 10 for how to grow your own food. This is day two, and today we want to take you outside where you can learn how to prepare your garden. You're going to have to designate a certain patch of yard so that your plants can have the optimum sunlight as well as the best location so that you can tend to it on a regular basis. So let's go outside and take a look at how to go about preparing for your garden. Now, of course, what you want to do is to prepare a patch of your soil that gets good sunlight. You're going to be digging up what is probably currently your lawn. And what we did was select a patch near the fence that is more or less far enough away from the fence, but also is not underneath the roof because you don't want to have your space be in too much shade. You want to make sure that it gets good sunlight during the day and evening hours. And most houses are built close together. So you will have to make sure that your patch that you're using is not going to be in shade a good portion of the day, either from your house roof or your garage roof. You're going to have to dig down past the roots. If you've been growing grass for a number of years, you're going to have roots of a lot of different plants. And if you've had trees in the backyard, you may have tree roots growing from the front of your yard because tree roots grow pretty far. And you want to make sure that you dig deep enough in the soil so that you get past the grass roots, the other plant roots. You're going to need to turn over the soil and make sure that you get down where the good black dirt is. Now, there are a lot of different kinds of soil, and we'll talk about that also in the future, how you go about making sure your soil is appropriate for growing. Some soil, it kind of has a bit of a clay type of a feature to it, and this can make it difficult for plants to grow. Sometimes it's necessary to go and buy soil if your particular soil in your yard isn't appropriate for growing. If you have not been growing any kinds of plants, then you may need to look at purchasing soil. But you're going to see a lot of things inside the soil. Growing food in an urban area means you may need to clear out a little down deep where you might see things from construction like nails and glass. You might see plastics and other things that have been buried there from trash that has just been overrun over a period of time. So, just dig down deep enough so that you actually get to where the soil is and past any kind of debris. And of course, you need to take a look at what it is that you're seeing. When you look at your soil, sometimes it's dry. And if you're going to do this kind of digging, you really need to do it when the soil is moist, perhaps after a rain. This takes some effort. It is a process of growing that you put some elbow grease into it. And as you can see, there are clumps of grass, and it's not always easy to get past, but it's necessary because you, in fact, do want to go through the process of clearing the land and making sure that it is able to be broken down so that you can actually use what it is that you are being able to discover. You're going to discover quite a few things in your soil, and you're going to learn more about how to use the plants that you discover. We recommend that you get the app on your phone, which is called what's the app on your phone was called Picture This. And this app will give you a chance to actually see what it is that is growing. And it will also empower you to be able to identify what is edible and what is not edible. So let's take a look at some of the things you're going to find in the yard.
This is a burdock plant, and this is burdock root. You may see this as you dig up spaces in your yard, and you'd be surprised to know, if you didn't know, that burdock root is sold for a nice price in many health food stores because there are some health benefits to the burdock plant, especially the burdock root. So this is why we tell you, do not kill anything in your yard, because this is a root that you can use for very important tea, and we'll tell you some of the benefits of burdock root tea so you can recognize this plant when you see it, and you can choose to save the root and even the leaves. And we'll show you some things you can do with burdock leaves as well.
Yes, burdock root tea is something that is very commonly sold in health food stores. And as you dig up your yard, you're going to possibly find a lot of burdock. It doesn't make sense that burdock root tea is being sold at such a handsome price in the health food stores, and it's growing for free right there in your own backyard, and you are unaware of its value. There are so many things that are growing in our yards that we can use if we simply had the knowledge. So next week, we're going to introduce you to burdock root tea, and we're going to show you some of its qualities, some of the ways that it's used for healing. We're going to make the tea from the burdock root that we discover in the yard and sample it for you so you can actually see that you have growing in your yard something that you've dismissed as a weed, and it can actually heal your body. So I'm Naima Latif. Until next time, we invite you to grow your own food. See you next Tuesday for our Tuesday tip at 10. See you then.